For the latest film interviews, reviews, and everything making news in pop culture, subscribe to Film Companion now.
The second season of The Family Man is fuller, darker, funnier, and wiser. It also learns from the teething problems of its predecessor, evidence of which emerges in a breathtaking final episode where multiple threads converge with rhythmic clarity. The season takes off shortly after the Delhi incident of season 1, with a wounded threat analysis and surveillance cell now facing the threat of a brand new South Asian nemesis. The drunken patriot is the same. Manoj Bajpayee returns as Shrikant Tiwari, a middle-class secret agent who treats his home as a job, complete with a performative personality, and his job as a homecoming. But the drunken nationalist wears a different face here. Undercover Sri Lankan Tamil Rajalakshmi, aka Raji, played by Samantha Akineni, lurks the lanes of South India waiting, not unlike Shrikant, for orders from above. The inherent vulnerability of the story is what sets this sequel apart, in terms of both engagement and entertainment. Shrikant was a negligent father and husband in the first season, but he was very sure of his work. An unwavering sense of duty aligned with a military idea of patriotism. The failure to preserve his family infused in him an intuitive hunger to excel at his job. His love for country was then collateral damage. It's why Musa, the antagonist of season 1, saw Shrikant as the other side of the same coin. Loyalty for both was not a genuine trait, but a last-ditch escape. But season 2 opens with Shrikant working in a dry corporate office. The politicized fallout of the Delhi attack seems to have disillusioned the man who has since decided to win back his family. Shrikant has now remodeled himself. His conversations are peppered with English, he sounds upbeat, and he's consciously addressing his fractured marriage. But a lie remains his only truth. This awakening to the star-crossed duality of being a commander in battle but a foot soldier of war is laced with a melancholy that Bajpayee has owned before. The Shri in season 2 is his own burning Lanka, bringing to mind the actor's haunting doomed dacoit turn in Abhishek Chaube's Sonchidia. His humor is a consequence of his surroundings, but there's a cynical existentialism about Shrikant here that determines the gaze of this series. The single-mindedness of Raji then makes for a worthy contrast. Samantha Akineni plays her with such feral focus and agility that her mission becomes an intoxicating cocktail of revenge, justice, and honor. This is also where the writing of The Family Man 2 walks a fine tightrope. When the camera is on a person, he or she becomes the hero of their own story. Everyone is right to feel wrong. Raji, a sleeper cell, is introduced in an episode that depicts her as a victim of sexual harassment. You want her to defeat the misogyny of every setting she's in, even when she's being chased by the Indians. Ditto for India's Prime Minister Basu, who's played by an uncanny Seema Biswas, who's also a pointed stand-in for Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Her ego displaces a room full of male subordinates. Ditto for Shrikant's teen daughter Dhriti, who's recklessly reacting to the emotional fatigue of a broken family. It says something then that the only humans who don't feel like a hero are those burdened with being one. This series takes this idea and sprints with it. The fluid filmmaking of The Family Man 2 aids its textural ambition. Shrikant's family members, like Priyamani as the beleaguered wife, a spirited Ashlesha Thakur as the defiant daughter, and especially Share Bhashni as the unruly Maharashtrian colleague, lead a stellar supporting cast. The actors playing the Chennai cops, namely Ravindra Vijay as Muthu and Devadarshini as Umayal, elevate the series beyond the sly bantering of the North-South divide. The soundscape of the series too is exquisitely detailed. Cameron Eric Bryson's cinematography in particular turns visual grammar into a definitive element of the series. It allows the creators to not just repeat the season 1 trademark of 2 audacious single-take combat sequences, but also place them in a way that both heightens the viewing experience and amplifies the narrative. The stakes both on and off the screen are sky high. Their success is incidental and only happens to be the difference between life and death. The Family Man 2 nails this big picture through the vacuum of several smaller ones. It transforms irony into an art form. A nationalist and a patriot walk into a bar, but only in the voice of creators like Raj and DK does this joke last long enough to raise the bar. This is Rahul Desai. To read my full review, log on to our website filmcompanion.in.